Hello, we are back. Okay, I think it's been about 2 months ish, maybe, since I last made a video. And I think when I just made the video, I was probably just getting started with the Python section of the Zero to Mastery Academy that I was following on. And since then, a lot has changed, thankfully. And I decided to record a video today because it is a quite important day. It is officially the last day of my old job that I am leaving for a new job that I already started. So I was like, maybe I'll take a minute to record a life update. So yeah, here's what we've worked through. I finished the Python course, and I thought it was pretty good. Learned a bit. And then after the Python course, I think I moved on to the web developer course. And I did a bit of a percentage of that. Then I got a little bit interested in machine learning. And so I did a percentage of this course. But right now, I'm focusing on finishing the web developer course. 91%. That has taken a lot of work because I really followed along with pretty much everything important. With the Python one, I watched most of it and I was like, okay, this and this. The projects didn't seem that interesting to me, but this one, like building the website that we're working on, it caught my attention. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually do this. And it's been quite a ride because there's a lot of errors that occur even when you're like just following along a straightforward video. So many errors happen that took like a 30-minute video would take me probably 8 hours, something like ludicrous, just because of all the problem solving that goes into it and all the Googling, and it's just like, man. So this one's been a bit more work. But yeah, hopefully I can finish it in the next couple of days. I finished the front end. I've started a server and I've started a database, which are all the three pieces we need. Now I just need to connect the database to the server in the front end, if that makes sense. That's the final piece of the puzzle. Oh, so it has an AI component to it, an AI API that we use. I had it working for a while, and then I moved on from that section of the project. And when it came back after having worked on all the other sections, it wasn't working. So I need to figure that out. Maybe. I'm kind of just like, I got it to work once. Like, I don't know if I really want to get it to work again. Oh yeah, I even did a bit of the AWS course because it seemed interesting. Oh yeah, and the Figma. This one, okay. I've been wanting to make my own like gym fitness app just because I don't want to pay for someone else's. I don't know. The thing about fitness for me is I don't think that's something that needs to be a subscription-based model. Like I get, and yeah, even if I was a business owner, if I had my own app, I would make it a subscription-based model because it's just more profitable. But like for a thing like the gym, like what's to stop anyone from like, let's say I pay to access someone's app and it gives me a bunch of like tutorial walkthroughs, exercises I can do. It plans out my whole gym routine. I just take a screenshot. I could just write it down and be like, okay, thank you. I'm done now. I took all your content and now it's mine. I don't need to pay for your subscription. And I'm like, that's a completely fair thing to do. Like, it's a possible thing to do. I don't do it because it takes work to keep an app and to get clients, to get customers, to make the app. So I'm like, okay, out of respect, I won't do it. But I don't like the subscription-based model, so hoping to one day build my own. The thing about that is that I think I can do the coding part. And when I started it, I realized, like, wait a minute. I have no idea how I want it to even look, the design part. So that's why I kind of went into this course. But then I went back. I was like, I kind of want to finish this one first. So that's where we're at. But honestly, right now I'm just figuring out life. There's a lot of important, I want to say like decisions I kind of want to be making. I switched jobs because that one was just getting too stressful for me, and two, I was with people I didn't really want to start becoming like them or to really be around them. They weren't my favorite type of people, and I just didn't really want to. I could already feel like I was becoming like them with like lower morals, less values, less standards, and I was just like, no, this. I feel like it's been a long time since I've gotten to be more of a, what's the word? Like more at ease and more lighthearted and just a lot nicer in general. I think I used to be sweeter back in the day, but that kind of got out of me. So I switched jobs. I'm taking less pay now. It's a bit of a, yeah, the pay's gonna hurt, but I think I'll still be able to make it work with just one job, I hope. And yeah, but so far I like the people. I like the people a lot more. I like my manager a lot more. And I've worked there, I want to say 3 days now. Each day that I've worked there, like I've gone out of it just feeling good, just feeling like energized and still like, oh yeah, I'm still able to go home and enjoy my night and not be full of stress or anger or just upset. So yeah, that's what's been going on recently. I've also been, I don't know, I've been thinking about a lot about what sort of like a person I want to be. Because, see, I'm 22 right now. When I was kind of, I want to say, probably from birth, no, not from birth, probably from like 12 to 20 were the times in my life when people would be like, it's acceptable to everyone else's opinion, I would say. And people would be telling me, like, oh, you're really good at math, you're really smart. And I appreciated those comments and I agreed with them. And so for most of my life, I've felt like I sort of had, like I could do something really important or really like meaningful or just something big. Like, I don't know, contributing to our discovery of the planet Mars, contributing to space missions, discoveries, starting a grand base business, something that would require like a big ambition, a lot of ambition. I've always thought that I'm an ambitious person, but like the job that I'm in now, the one I'm just joining, it's just a pizza shop. It's a pizza parlor. I just take orders, I give out food, make food, help out my staff whenever I can, and that's kind of it. And it's been strange because I kind of I like it, which is it's weird to say because my whole life I've pretty much just been surrounded by like intellectual people, I'd say. Like, I studied physics for 3 years in college, and in high school I was always like, I like to place myself with the smart people. My friend group was just pretty much the culmination of like the top students. Not necessarily like we didn't really group ourselves on purpose, but since we were all like striving to achieve and to just learn more, we ended up in like all the same classes, all the AP classes, all the like difficult classes, and we just got to know each other. So that's kind of been the group of like people I've always just found myself with, like ambitious, really intelligent people. And it's been, I don't know, at one point I changed. At one point, I think maybe it was when I was 20, 21, but definitely by now I see a big difference in how I feel when I'm around like an intellectual group versus common folk, I would say, like just people who kind of just show up in their life, and they're like people who work at grocery stores, Target, I don't know, I really don't want to sound demeaning because I'm really starting to see the value and the merit in working any sort of job. Like, I've hung out with so many different types of people, and right now the people I like the most are just the people I work with at these like really easy to enter jobs, I would say. And it's been strange because I've been around a sort of like a mindset of like you should do something more with your life, like be a software engineer, be a scientist, be a lawyer, be a doctor, like be quote unquote something. And I've been in conflict with that because what I see right now from the people who quote unquote didn't get to be something is that they have so much emphasis in like being respectful towards one another, being kind, and being a good person. Like those are sort of the values that I see being talked about. Like it just shows up in their daily language. But in like academia and stuff, you don't hear those words too often. At least I didn't. Like there were some people. I really like some people from academia. I still have my friends that I really enjoy talking to and just being around. But I learned a lot from them, and I learned a lot from like just older people that I get to be around now that like they just work like a common job that that I feel like most people overlook the significance of. Because the way I see it now is like a town. In my opinion, like a town is consisted of so many businesses that bring in revenue and that like stimulate the local economy. Like there's a grocery store next to my house that is probably so crucial to the entire neighborhood. There's a couple, I think there's two main ones, but I can tell the difference between the two grocery stores. And one of them I feel like is more like, gets a lot more commerce into it. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, I hope these people like get treated well, because like without that grocery store, so many families would probably have to travel farther or to another store that they might not enjoy as much. But then this one's here and it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's easy to overlook the grocery clerks, the butchers, the people who just stock the shelves, even the food trucks that come and deliver the food. Like those aren't jobs that they get talked about as much anymore, but I'd place so much importance in those people and those types of jobs. They're like the building blocks of a little town. Like you have your grocery store, you have a tire service, you have a car wash, you have a fast food place. What else would you have? Firefighters. You have your law enforcement. All these little units, building blocks that make up a town. And I'm like, huh, you are all so important. Like when I see this, like sort of the software engineering and any sort of like big business like company in mind. I used to like want to start a company, and I used to want to be like a big shot scientist, and now I'm like, it seems like it's fancy. It's like putting icing on a cake. It's like, yes, you guys are responsible for a lot of the technological advancements and a lot of the brilliant like medical technologies we have now, and it's really helpful, and it is. But like I still depend on the grocery store to feed myself. And so I've just kind of been thinking about that. And I feel guilty because I'm still just reminded of the feeling of like, man, I'm 22, maybe it could have been more by now, or maybe I should want to be more. But I'm content with sticking to the same road that I'm on now, even if I don't make too much money, or even if I don't fulfill don't use up the talents that God gave me. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm content with not using up the talents that God gave me, but that's my conflict. I feel like I should. I would feel guilty if I didn't do something. Like, I don't know what it is, but I do kind of want to do something with this brain that I had, because I know that I am wired a certain way to like just always want to be learning and just always want to be doing something. I don't know. That's kind of the point that I'm at right now. I'm trying to figure out what kind of an individual I want to be. And so far, I'd say the only thing I can really decide on is that I want to be a good person. And I felt like on my old job, I was just not being a good person, and I wasn't going to become a good person if I stayed. So I left, and yeah, I guess at this point of my life, I might just be trying to figure out how to be a good individual. Because I had a sort of like a management responsibility. I was responsible for other people at my job. And the biggest takeaway I got from it is I think I want to be a good person, and I want to help other people be good people too. Like it just saddens me that there's so many like bad people out there. I used to think there really wasn't. I used to think that there were only hurt people out there who did bad things. But now I think that I think there's some people who really just don't get it. And no matter how much you help them, they probably never will. So I want to be a good person. And if I do end up in some sort of like a CEO of a company, or I start my own thing, I don't think I'd do it for the money or for the glory of like having your own company. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. Something grandiose doesn't appeal to me anymore. If I do end up being some sort of leader, I do it just so that I know that I'm helping other people be good people. Because what I would want to do is create a company culture or some sort of group culture that doesn't need to put people down, that doesn't need to stress people out, doesn't need to give them any more worries or fill them with anxiety. I don't want to add any sort of negativity into anyone's life whatsoever. I hope that whatever I do, if people come to me, come work for me, come work with me, or just spend any sort of time around me, that they leave better off than they did when they came in my vicinity. Like, I just want them to leave with more energy, feeling lighter, and just happier and more relaxed than when they entered my space. That's really where my head's at right now. And I probably wouldn't have realized this if I didn't have that job and the experiences that I did. But that's really what I want to do. I want to take away as much of the pain and hindrances in people's lives so that then they can be good people. Because I think that's all that's stopping people from being good. It's just that they have too many worries, they have too many fears, too many pains that others cause on them that just stop them from being good people. Because it's happened to me. Like, I used to be much sweeter, and then I learned about, okay, this person behaves like this. If I do this, they're going to react like that. If I don't do this, this is what's going to happen to me because I can't do anything about it. So I'm like, okay, you learn how to act. You learn how to act according to your environment. So I chose a different environment because I didn't like the way I was acting. But let's see. That's kind of what's been on my mind recently. As far as the future, right now I'm just figuring out how I'm going to pay rent and feed myself, because the pay cut that I took, and I'm calculating the hours that I'm probably going to be working in the next couple of weeks, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of cutting it close. I'm just honestly following my heart. And so far, I've been like skimming by. It's like, okay, it's working out, but just barely, but it's still working. So I'll have to figure out my financial situation a bit better. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I hope to get some clarity in the next couple of months, maybe by the end of the year. I turned 23, and in 6 months, it's the 8th, no, in 5 months, January 18th. And 23 is an important year for me. I met someone when I was 20, and they were 23, or just turning 23. So when I turn 23, I want to sort of do a comparison. I'm like, I'm 23 now. Am I, like, compared to this person, compared to this person when they were 23, am I doing good? Sort of what I want to do. But I think that's enough for this video. 20 minutes long. It's kind of impressive. Well, if you watched, I appreciate it, and see you next time.